Real men wear rose fragrances. Here are 3 of my favorites coming up next. Welcome back everybody to Joel the Nose, and thank you as always for watching. Today's video, you saw rose perfumes. I think sometimes rose perfumes for men get a, excuse me, a little bit of a bad, not a bad name, but I think a lot of guys just shy away from rose perfumes. When I talk with people, when I meet people, especially if I'm hanging out at Osme and I sometimes recommend a rose perfume, I see a lot of guys kind of at first like, they think it's too feminine, or they think it's, not masculine enough. And all I would say is give it a chance. Rose perfumes, obviously kind of very classic. Some of the earliest perfumes were a take on rose, whether it be, there's damask rose, there's Bulgarian rose, there's roses from all around the world that are very famous. The Rose de Mai, you have the rose from Grasse, France, all these different amazing that can be harvested at different times of the year. They give you a different scent. There's some sweeter roses, there's some ones that are more bold, and there's really such diversity that I think there's a rose fragrance just for you and what you would like for your scent profile. So I'm gonna give you 3 of my absolute favorites of all time. These are bangers, amazing fragrances. And I wanna highlight some of the notes here. Hold on, let me just pull this up. And so 3 very, I was wondering, I was like, are they all different or are they all the same? And they do kind of all have a similar vibe to me, maybe, which is why I like them. Because there's a sweetness. I don't prefer the bold, kind of less sweet rose. I actually prefer a little bit of the sweeter rose, which is a lot of times obtained by putting the synthetic phenylethyl alcohol, which gives it that kind of a little bit more traditional, what I picture when I smell a rose, like an actual physical rose. So without any further ado, let's get right into this. I'm gonna go with my number 3 favorite rose fragrance. And it's delicious. This is Exit the King. Came out probably about 5 years or so ago, I believe, from Etat Libre d'Orange. And this, all 3 of these, by the way, totally interchangeable for me. I wear them a lot. This is, for me, the best way to describe it, again, without getting into a ton of the notes, a soapy metallic rose. It's got aldehydes, it's got some soapiness elements that they actually list as a note. Of course, rose, it's got lily of the valley, patchouli, sandalwood, it's got some ambroxan, so it gives you that long-lasting, woodsy feel to it. And ever since I first smelled it when it came out, I think it was before COVID when it first came out, and I bought it instantly. This is like one that I smelled it one time and I got it. And again, soapiness. I love soapy smells. So I'd never really seen a perfume that mixed kind of that soapy aspect with the rose. And these guys do it to perfection. Love it, love it, love it. So, all right, that was that one. Next, let's go to, what do we have here? All right, I'm gonna go next with, one of my favorite houses. I've talked about them all the time. This is, I say, number 2, Nawab of Oudh, Intensivo. Okay, so this is technically, I guess, a flanker because it's the Intensivo from the original version, Ormond Jane. And this one is just because that combination with the Oudh. And what's interesting is, normally Oud and rose are 2 of the most common, especially in modern perfumery. If you look in the last 10 years, almost every rose perfume that I smell has Oud in it. It's just a really common combination. I think this, though, does it, in my opinion, the best that I've smelled. And there's a lot of great ones out there. You don't have to, look very far for a lot of great houses and a lot of great brands when it comes to mixing Oud and rose. But I love what Linda Pilkington, the creative director and owner of Ormond Jane, has done with this. It just sits on my skin all day. It's one of those ones that I can't stop smelling. I put it on my arms and I'm just the whole day just going like this. And some of the notes that do stick out to me on this one is, of course, the Oudh, which gives it that just a little bit of animalic, sexy quality. It's got ambergris, which also gives it that, so I love ambergris. It does also have aldehyde, so it gives it a little bit of that effervescence, that lift, that sparkle. Orchid, labdamen, musk, vetiver for that grounding effect. It's just really another great springtime fragrance. I've been talking about some spring fragrances lately. This one to me is one I wear a lot in the spring because it's got that earthiness, it's got that flower quality, it's got that kind of resurgence, that renewal of life that spring offers all of us. And if you want a great oud rose or rose oud fragrance, look no further than Nawab Intensivo. And that is going to lead me to my last fragrance, and probably the least known, but if you watch my channel or my Instagram, I wear this a lot and talk about it a lot. And this is A Day in My Life from Mark Buxton Perfumes. He is an amazing, I consider, non-traditional perfumer. He does a lot of kind of experimental avant-garde stuff. He's got his own brand. He also makes perfumes for a lot of the big companies. But this is a perfume I got also about 5 or 6 years ago. And to me, I don't know. This is my favorite rose fragrance. I wear this all the time. I put it on and I, again, kind of like Nawab, I can't stop smelling myself. And I get all kinds of good compliments. And I actually just had one of my friends put it on the other day. She was at my house and we were about to go out and she's like, oh, I need some perfume. And I wasn't sure because she normally doesn't like kind of floral rose fragrances. And I wasn't sure how. She sprayed it, instantly loved it, and then put it on and wore it for the night. And I could smell it on her all night and it was just absolutely sparkling, clean, beautiful. And these are some of the notes that are in that. You have rose, you have pink pepper, which gives it this kind of like fiery, spicy quality, mandarin orange. It's got LME resin, which LME has this very resinous, kind of smooth, sensual effect. Of course, you have, and by the way, this has two kind of rose qualities. It has rose oil and rose. Then you also have the labdamen, patchouli, sandalwood, similar to Nawab. So it's got this also very good, you know, earthy, grounding quality to it. And it's just, you know, we talk about perfumes that are well blended. And my last video, Maurice from Osme was talking about well blended perfumes. This to me absolutely epitomizes a well blended perfume. You know it's a rose fragrance, but nothing else juts out. It just seems that everything kind of blends perfectly together into this very sensual fragrance that's perfect for both men or women. Of course, I kind of swayed this video a little bit today about men trying rose fragrances and getting more comfortable with them. You know, there's so many other great ones. Another Atomic Rose from Initio is one of my favorites also. But I wanted to do 3 to me that are a little bit more under the radar, a little bit more. Exit the King's pretty popular, I guess, or more popular. But you know, you know my channel. I like to stick to things that are a little bit different, not necessarily the same fragrances that everyone talks about, because I want to give you guys options. And I don't know, for me, I like watching videos where I learn about new fragrances, not necessarily just the same ones that are talked about over and over again. So there you have it. Let me know in the comments, what are some of your rose fragrances? What gets you going? Are you somebody that loves it? Are you somebody that's not sure about them and you haven't really worn a lot of them? These are 3 good ones for you to check out if you want to have superb rose fragrance that's not too feminine and works well for both men and women. All right, I'll be back soon with another video. You know the rule, don't be a wimp, spray like a pimp. Later. You know the rule, don't be a wimp, spray like a pimp.